Music with Monali. I am Monali. Welcome to another edition of Meaning Behind the Music. And I did a poll on my Patreon, as I do for all of these. And this time they voted on Alice in Chains' Rooster. And this one, I love Alice in Chains. I've loved them since the 90s. They came out in early 90s when I was a bit too young, but towards the late 90s and on, I really loved them. My mom used to listen to them, so I heard it that way. And I believe my brothers might have too. And so Rooster was kind of a weird one because sometimes it's hard to understand Lane Staley. He's the lead singer. I know he died of a drug overdose a while ago, and he was very, very high a lot of times when he sang. And so he had a kind of slur to him that Eddie Vedder Eddie Vedder had that back in the 90s because he was on drugs. And a lot of the time back then, it just kind of made this sound come out. And while I don't want them to be on drugs, sometimes I think, would we not have had some of this great music? I know it's a bad way to think, but it is what it is. Okay, so Rooster, we know this is the, yeah, they come to snuff the rooster. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's my version. So before I get into it, I want to read the lyrics because I feel like that's very important when you hear the meaning. And if you're like me, you knew some of the lyrics, but some you were like, what? And it's not that long, as most grunge songs aren't. Okay, so here it is. It's ain't found, I'm going to try to say it without singing it. Ain't found a way. Okay. Ain't found a way to kill me yet. Eyes burn with stinging sweat. Seems every path leads me to nowhere. Wife and kids, household pet. Army green was no safe bet. The bullets scream to me from somewhere. Here they come to snuff the rooster. Yeah, here come the rooster. You know he ain't gonna die. No, 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 you know he ain't gonna die. And then it does that again, the chorus. Then walking tall machine gun man, they spit on me in my homeland. Gloria sent me pictures of my boy. Got my pills against mosquito death. My buddy's breathing his dying breath. Oh God, please, won't you help me make it through? And then here they come to snuff the rooster. So you can already guess that it is about war. And so we're going to get a little bit deeper into why that this was written. So Jerry Cantrell is the guitarist, was the guitarist slash co-vocalist for Alice in Chains. And so how this song came about was he was homeless, Jerry was, and he needed a place to stay. So he actually moved in with Chris Cornell of Soundgarden slash Audio Slave slash his own thing. And if you go even further back, it would be slash Temple of the Dog. So he went to live with him and his wife Susan. And the thing about that was Susan was actually managing Alice in Chains. So you see how this all kind of ties together. So he moved in with them, and he had some baggage, lots of baggage from his father who served in Vietnam. And when his father came back from Vietnam and had a family and all this, it was just really hard for him to cope, as a lot of it was in Vietnam, especially if you were drafted and it wasn't something you signed up for, and especially if it was against maybe your political beliefs or your whatever beliefs, and you were sent over there anyway. So his dad was over there, and when he came back, he never recovered from it. He was very estranged, and the quote that Jerry says is, he didn't, what did he say? He didn't leave us, we left him. So him and his mom and his siblings ended up leaving, even though the father had already pulled away and all that. They ended up leaving. So they moved away to live with his grandmother in Washington. And so then he grew up, and he just had, of course, this baggage, especially as a boy, I think, having your dad leave and you have these issues. And I mean, obviously he did well for himself. He ended up playing the guitar beautifully and getting in with Alice in Chains and all that. So he was sitting there, and he was staying in this little bitty room, he said, in Chris Cornell's house, and he decided, you know what, I'm just going to confront it. Here we go. And he got out his guitar and like a little bitty recorder, and he just let it pour out of him. But he said what he was trying to do with the song is, instead of being mad at his dad for how he responded and reacted to the war, he decided to see it from his point of view and write a song from his point of view. So that's where you get like the stinging sweat and mosquito death and all this. He was describing a trek through the jungle in Vietnam and altercations with the Viet Cong and all this stuff. And so then you're probably wondering, Rooster, what is that? So his dad's nickname was Rooster. growing up, they said it was a very cocky kid and his hair stood up on his head. So his grandpa called him Rooster, called his dad Rooster. And so that's where that came from. So yeah, they come to snuff the rooster. They come to kill the rooster. Oh yeah, he ain't gonna die. So there's that. That's the part I always wondered about. I was like, what is Rooster? Is that like a drug reference? No, it's his nickname. And so the first time it was actually recorded, like with Alice in Chains, with Lane Staley singing it, was actually for, it was kind of an opportunity that came up. The band was going to be recording Wood, the song Wood that they do, for Cameron Crowe's movie Singles. So they were in front of Cameron Crowe, and he was there, and they were recording these songs, and he wanted to hear other ones as well. So they just kind of slipped Rooster in there to get it recorded and hear it. And it was amazing. And everyone knows now, even Man in the Box was their first single, and that's a great song. But Rooster really put them on the map for grunge bands and having this sound. Rooster, very deep, very dark. And so then after they recorded it and it came out, he did an interview. The dad, Jerry's dad, did a 45-minute interview with the director for the music video. And this is the first time he had ever talked about Vietnam. He talked about it to the point where he was crying. But he said it was a very therapeutic experience for him. And it definitely, Jerry said it brought him and his dad closer, because he could see where his dad was coming from and everything he went through, and appreciation for the military and for what they have to see and then have to come home and just go back into normal life. It's difficult. And so I appreciate that aspect of this song and Jerry's personality and his forgiving and understanding of his dad as a military spouse. And anyway, I know my situation's different because my husband signed up, but still. And so when it was all said and done, and the first time it was actually played like on the radio, and the tape had come out, I don't know if there were CDs yet then, probably just cassette tapes. Jerry asked his father, did I come close? Did I come close to your experience? And his dad said, you got too close. You hit it on the head. And that was his quote. So if you were wondering, there you go. That is the meaning behind the music for Alice in Chains' Rooster. And if you want to be involved in what songs that I research and things like that, or any polls on my channel, videos I do, people I have on, etc., and exclusive content as well, check out my Patreon. Music with Monali. Cheers.